Hello! This is the part of the stream where I say hello and check to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you're watching, let me know in the comments and give me a thumbs up or an okay or a good to go if all the video, audio, and everything looks good to go. I'm just going to hang out here a little bit while I wait to see if somebody lets me know that everything is working all right. William Nelson says hello. Hopefully that means that you can hear me and see me and everything is working out okay. Gonna work on the Enterprise E tonight, maybe a little bit of the 650 scale Enterprise D. We'll see what I pull over. Randy Wahlberg says everything is 5x5. Okay, perfect. We are good to go. I am actually probably going to start by pulling the bottom sections of the 650 scale Enterprise D saucer over and take some of the masking off that I put on for doing light block coats. It was a beautiful day here in my part of Canada, and I could not resist getting the model outside and getting some light blocking coats on the bottom of the saucer. So, give me a moment. I'm just going to grab one of the saucer's bottoms and we'll pull some masking while we wait for everybody to join the stream. Before we get into anything too serious tonight. Okay, here is one of the saucers. I'll switch over to the desk view here. Oh, and you were getting picture-in-picture with me and me previously. That's always fun. All right. We have bottom of the 650 scale Enterprise D saucer, and I've masked off the edging for the area that's going to be secured down to the saucer. We had a nice day today in northern Michigan. Oh, very nice. It has been unseasonably warm here, and I mean, I don't mind that. Definitely don't mind the warm weather. Don't mind. I am looking for pair of tweezers. Here they are, over on another desk. Got them. It's been unseasonably warm here this past week, but I will not pass up the opportunity to get some coats on while I don't have to do it inside the shop, where the audio is a bit quieter, but much cleaner in this view. The audio shouldn't be any different depending on the view. I did just adjust my microphone, so if it's a little bit too quiet, I can always boost those levels. All right, this is saucer number 2. That means this one is from the second of 2 kits that I am working on. The windows really look cool with the black light blocking coat underneath. So hopefully the audio is nice and clear and there's no issues there. Here we go. The top saucer, the way that this kit is designed, let me go grab the top saucer so that you can see what's going on with the way this has been designed. Oh, I've got a top saucer directly behind me there on the bench, and this is actually the saucer that goes along with this bottom. Perfect. So the bottom saucer here, let's see if you can see this, but the sensor edge is all molded into the top piece. Still good, but definitely different. Okay. I can't hear what you're hearing, so we'll hope it's still okay. So the saucers have been designed the same way that the 1400 scale Enterprise E kit is designed, where the bottom saucer snugs just down into the top saucer, where the edge of the top saucer comes all the way down and around. So this edge here just sits on this ledge here. so it makes for a really nice connection point. But I've had to make sure that I leave the bare resin on the joint. So that's why there's all this masking. All right. This is where the tweezers come in handy. I'll just ink all this off. Kind of just a little bit of busy work while we get settled into the stream. And wait for people to realize that the stream is actually happening. Let me just see what we've got as far as... Oh. I just closed my my control panel for the live stream. I know that doesn't do anything bad for the live stream. It just means that the I can't see what's going on. I had to close another window there to get to that. So bear with me while I reset up a couple of things. There we go. So we currently have 4 people watching. So I know that we are expecting a few more. So get some of this done, chat a little bit, see what's going on. It was nice to get some painting done outside this time of year. Pretty much all of the painting has to be done inside, so I have to time it for when kids aren't around, and I have to isolate off the work area, which means really I don't have access to it right after I've sprayed. If it's the Vallejo acrylics, it's not really a problem, but it's just the more kind of toxic type of paints like the primer, the spray can primer. I don't use any enamels anymore. And I use the lacquer stuff only when absolutely necessary. But we're not in the acrylics stage right now. We are in the rattle can primer stage, and so that stuff just stinks like mad. And so it was just really nice to be able to, actually, part of it I actually did outside. It was warm enough to put some coats on outside, which is unheard of this time of year here. So that was nice. There we go. I used liquid mask on the top saucer. I really wish I would have used the masking tape. I mean, it would have been a lot more fiddly work to put it on, but going around that curve in that on that ledge, but removal would have been so much better. All right, there's the majority of that gone, and now the fun part. Get rid of that, and of course, totally missed the garbage pail. That's why I don't play basketball. All right, the fun part is going to be pulling off the main pieces and revealing the nice, here, let me move it here, revealing the nice clean edge that will be the joint seam area, joining the 2 parts of the saucer together. All right. Chat's pretty quiet so far tonight. That's okay. There we go. That piece and last piece. All right, one down. Oh, little piece there. So you can really see how dark those windows look, and that's because the black was done first, and the black really got into those windows. And then it's the white coat on the inside. I really don't care whether it's perfect, because it's just there to reflect the light or bounce the light around on the inside of the kit. So it's not a, I don't need to fully, totally, 100% pure cover it in white for it to do the job, and because it's going to be on the inside, it is not going to be seen. All right, let's get that piece over to where it's going to sit and get kit part number 1, or kit number 1 bottom saucer piece out. Gonna do the same thing again. Now, the first saucers, or what I'm calling kit number 1, they have markings on them. They have markings on the kit, lines on the kit and stuff, for the masking work that we are doing in developing the mask set for this kit. So I've had to find the center for each side so that we can get the main pieces of the mask set down properly. Hope you guys are still there. It's a quiet chat tonight. Here we go. Somebody else was saying that they got dumped on with snow. And we have such mild time right now. But we've got 6 people. Awesome. Joining us to watch me pull tape off of the big saucers and to do some other work. What I really want to make sure I get done tonight is we are really close to getting the saucers assembled, the saucer parts assembled on the Enterprise Ds. So most of the work to consolidate the wiring is done. I have to install the observation lounge on the shuttle bay observation lounge on one of the E's, and then just go through and make sure everything else is wired up that has to be wired up. And then, if things go well, might actually be able to get the saucers assembled. That would be so good. I do still believe I have to, I don't even know where the parts are right now. I do believe I have to open the windows on the net covers. The net covers are the final piece to go on. That's why they were left so long. But they won't take long to open up the windows on those. And they will go on. So apart from the chiller grills and a few other pieces that go on much closer to the end, the net cover is the last main assembly piece that goes on, because that's the hub where all of the wiring gets final assembly, final connection, and sent down the post. All right, where's my good Sharpie? Just mark that as number 1. You can really see the gap in the windows here now that the black paint went on the inside. But that's fine. I decided to deal with that after I got the light blocking paint on. Part of the reason I decided to deal with those gaps after getting the light blocking paint on was just because of how nice the weather was and how conducive it was to getting that paint down. Under normal circumstances this time of year, I probably would have done the gap fill work first. Masking is always a big job. Yes, it is. And I was fully anticipating having to hand mask the Aztecs on this ship. So cut the pieces of tape and lay them down by hand to make the Aztecs. But I'm working with Motion Picture Miniatures to have a masking set done up for this kit. So that is going to save me. I mean, there's time involved in getting the development work done on it, because he has to take his pre-existing masks for the 1400 scale Enterprise D and size them properly for this kit. It's not just increasing their size because it's a bigger ship, but the proportions are a little bit different than the AMT. Again, I miss the garbage pail. Certainly am not a basketball player. But the proportions on every single kit are a little bit different depending on how the measurements we're taking, etc. So, and how close they are to the actual filming miniatures, which the AMT, the old AMT is not necessarily accurate to the filming miniature. So those adjustments do have to be made. So we have to go through the process of just making sure that they all fit. He sends me the file, I cut the vinyl, put it on, send him back pictures and measurements. He makes the adjustments, sends me back the files, and do that. So he's been busy trying to get some commission work out the door, so he hasn't been able to work on this for a couple of weeks, but he's going to be getting back to that shortly, I believe. All right, so both bottom saucers have that masking taken off, so I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to allow them to allow that paint that went on today to fully cure before I do any additional work on it, because I've got lots of work that I can do on the top saucers. All right, I'm going to pull. Let me just switch over here. I am going to pull the 1400s over. I believe that everything is consolidated and run back to the neck on the lower saucer. We'll have to double check everything on the top saucer, and on one of those I have to install the shuttle bay observation lounge, so that's going to be primary job tonight, to get all that wiring out the back of the neck and to get that shuttle bay observation deck on. So I'm actually going to, yeah, I think I'll keep the actual ships over where they are right now, but I'm going to pull the top saucers over because there is still a fair bit of spaghetti on those. So, switching back here. Okay. Yeah, I still have. So the consolidation is pretty much done. I've got to secure down a lot of these wires. You can see that there's still a number of them that have to be epoxied down in place. Now let's see. This one has the observation deck installed. This one here does not. So it is sitting on my desk somewhere. So let's get that installed tonight. Okay. I need to find that first. And that's going to be a challenge. Of course, I set it aside for safekeeping. And I probably set it aside too safely. Oh, here it is. On the bench. All right. So here it is. It's got a piece of clear plastic in for the windows. Just going to remove the tape that was there to hold the wiring in place. First thing we need to do is mask these tiny, tiny windows. Let's see if I can get this in. Okay. Here's the underside. There we go. So I have to mask the outside of that. And I'm going to have to guess on the sizing and do a little bit of trial and error here. I'm going to get my yellow tape, my tiny scissors, a sip of coffee. my Spock mug. Oh, hey, Danny. Danny, the programmer, says, hey, Andrew, was about to go to bed, just dropping in to say hi on your stream. Yeah, it's got to be, well, it's probably 4 a.m. for you or something like that. 3 or 4 a.m. I mean, I think that's pretty early. Still pretty early for you, right? Because you're always up half the night. Okay. Okay, let's see here. I usually end up having to do this a couple of times to get the sizing right. Yeah, 4 a.m. Just done with some projects for today. Awesome. I should have a good idea soon how many LEDs are going to be in the phaser array on the 650 scale. I think I'm going to be using the 50/50s. I think the 2020s are going to be overkill for this size of ship. Okay, let's see if I need to cut that down a little bit more. Yeah, I need to cut this down just a little bit more here. Getting old. Take the glasses down. Trim a tiny bit off. See how that fits. What's kind of crazy is that there were 75 holes in the saucer to use the 5mm LEDs with all that space, all that dead space. So there were 75 LEDs using the 2020s in the 1400 in here. That's 75 on this phaser array. So that just kind of tells you the scale of those 2020 LED strips. In the phaser test script I send you, you can just adjust the number of LEDs yourself to play around with it. Works for both 20s and 50s. If you need some help, let me know. Yeah, I've figured at least that much out. Figured out how to change the colors. I can turn it into Borg assimilation mode. I think I sent you those. Oh, I know I posted them online, but I'm sure I sent you the video of it in Borg assimilation mode when I did that test. I think I tested it Borg assimilation mode and tested it in like red alert mode, you know, just for fun. It's kind of cool. All right. Let's see if I get this cut right first time. Yeah, seen them. See, I've been able to figure out how to adjust some things. I would be hopelessly outmatched if I actually had to be left to do everything, to code everything on my own. Here we go. Hopefully, this is the right size off the bat. Getting it in there is challenging enough. I have to get the bottom in first. And then work it into the top. I might have gotten it. It should just fit in. Like so. Push the corners in a little bit. And I think I got it. I think I got it. Let's see here. It's not going to focus. But little tiny piece of tape in there. Good thing you won't have to code it yourself in that case. Yeah. Yeah, that would be nuts. All right. One nice thing about having two of these things is I can have a quick peek to see what I did before. So I know what I'm going to do this time. Yeah. All right. So I need to drill a wee little hole for the LED wires to go through. And what size it's going to be is just dependent on what size drill bit I have in my pin vise at the time. And it will be what it is. Okay. Probably should have run this in here before. Oh! Ha! I've already run a hole in there for it. I've already got a hole for it. Perfect. Okay. We're good to go on that. So I need to take the resistor off here and the little pin I have for putting it into the breadboard. So I need to take that off with the solder iron, fish them through, and then I need to reconnect them once they're through. So I'm going to grab my solder iron here, which I did not have prepared because I was not anticipating needing to do any soldering tonight. As I fully expected, I had everything soldered for this that I needed to. All right, I'm going to grab some water for the sponge, and I will be right back. That'll just take me one moment to grab the water for that. And I can probably keep talking to you as I do that. One thing that I would like to upgrade at some point is to have a working sink in the shop, because I have to leave the shop anytime I need to get water. All right, let's go back to here. So I've got the sponge soaked here, and I plugged in one end of the solder and didn't plug in the other. So that's why it's not getting hot. Okay. Got that plugged in. Danny, please run the extended test script with all the effects before permanently sealing down the ship. Have a good stream. I'll rewatch and the rest tomorrow. Yeah, I will. Before everything is finalized, I will do a test. The thing is that I don't need your script working perfectly before it's all assembled. I just need to make sure all the LEDs are functioning properly before it's assembled, and so I'm doing that throughout the entire process. So while I wait for the solder iron to heat up, I'm just going to grab a refill on my coffee here. I do have a jug of coffee over off camera so I can refill my coffee. So let me just, while we wait for the solder iron to heat up, let me just check the chat. Danny was the last one to leave a chat there, so yeah. Feel free to ask anything. Feel free to say anything, ask anything. Okay, I think we're probably warm enough on that. I'll switch back over to that view. We got another subscriber. Thank you to the person who subscribed. What am I looking for? Whatever it is right. I'm working hands. There we go. So yeah, I don't know if you can see it in the bottom corner there. Let me go back to this view. And yeah, so the counter just went up one. So that's awesome. 1962. I'm going to be taking that counter with me to Wonderfest and having it at my booth so that you can see where the subscriber count is. There we go. All right. So set this aside. It's this piece here I need. And I need to desolder the resistor. Here we go. Wasn't exactly seeing it properly there. Okay, set the resistor aside. Remind me that I set it up top there later when I go looking for it and can't find it. Take the metal pin off of here. There we go. William Nelson, I'm holding off on my Enterprise E build. I need to complete the 350 Grissom. So is that this kit, the 1400 Enterprise E? Or are you lucky enough to be working on the 650 scale Enterprise E? Which any of those make a beautiful kit. I mean, a beautiful ship when they're done. I understand they're a brute to work with. I haven't built one yet. I have one. Although the one I have, nope, that's the wrong saucer top. The one I have is the opaque kit, not the clear kit or translucent kit. So it would be a brute to light if I ever wanted to do it and do it lighted. Where is that hole? Okay, that's through. How about I run the wires the way that they need to go in order to install the part properly? And how about I install the part? Worry about installing the part before I worry about the wiring going the proper way. Okay. And that's backwards, and that's the way it's supposed to go on. Okay. Now I'll get the wires fed through, and I can see the hole, I think. That little hole is way too easy to confuse with a speck of paint. There we go. It's just big enough for the wiring to go through, which is really what we want. Okay. Wiring is through. And I'm going to re-hook it up before I do anything else. Yes, 1400 with the mass design kit masking set. yeah, I have to get a review done for those masks, and getting this assembled is holding that up. So I want to get the final assembly done on this as soon as possible, because I do owe Gary it's Gary, right? I am horrible with names. I am absolutely horrible with names, and I'm going to double check because I want to make sure I've got it right. Yeah, Gary. So I owe Gary a video review on those, and I was supposed to do that much earlier on when one of these was going to be a static build, and we had a major paint issue with the primer that held everything up, and I was going to have to start the saucer part again, and the client decided at that point to switch to a lighted version. So we went ground up on that, opening windows and everything like else. So it's so that's a review, well overdue. So I want to get that done for Gary as quickly as I can. Interesting about the mask design masking set is he worked on that after I did my last Enterprise E, where I painted it, because nobody was painting the kits before that, or very few people were like, if they weren't getting the to scale Aztec detailing on there, and everybody kept telling me, you can't do it, you have to use the Aztec decals, and I'm like, don't tell me I can't do it, I'm gonna do it. So I did it out of spite, out of it, for no other reason than to say I did it when people told me you couldn't do it. So really looking forward to working with that kit, because I'll tell you, it'll save gobs and gobs of time. Gobs is an exact measurement, by the way, so don't let anybody ever tell you that it is not. It will save you so much time. All right, let's get the, where is my solder? There it is. Like I said, I wasn't really prepared for solder tonight, which I guess I probably should have realized that I was going to need it. Oh well. Get some fresh solder on that. And the metal pins that I'm putting on the end of these wires are just so that they'll go into the breadboards for testing, because these fine wires, any of these fine wires, just will not go into the breadboard for testing unless you attach a pin onto them. The resistored ones are fine. And found the resistor. Thank you for reminding me. Not that anybody reminded me, but me telling you to remind me was enough to remind me that that's where I put it. Because I can put down my solder 30 seconds ago and then forget where I put it. So just the way my brain works, especially when I've got streamer brain going on. Okay. Fresh solder. Where's the pin? Where's the wire? Wire going on like that. And we're good. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to attach the part. And I am just looking for my CA glue. Got it. So for the Grissom, I'm going to assume you're talking about the 350 Grissom. Yeah, 350. The one from Polar Lights. It is nice to have a Grissom kit. There were two kits. Oh, I'm just listening for the air to come out to know that it's not clogged up. Two kits I thought that they should release. The Grissom was one, and the other one I thought that they should release in a good size is the, which they haven't done yet. Still hoping that they will at some point. Otherwise, I will at some point in my lifetime scratch build one for myself. is a Constellation class. Those are the two, and there are the vacuum form kits out there for both of those, and which I'm sure that is an absolute brute to build. The vacuum form kits, I could not imagine. But, okay. I got rid of a lot of material. When I cleaned out the windows on these, so I just have to think strategically about where I'm placing the glue. Obviously, this ledge here, and then a little bit in here, a little bit in here. I don't want to damage the graphic I have in there. I'm going to get a small little clip. And hopefully this will just be enough to hold her in place without being overkill. I'm trying to be careful. Ooh. Okay, so I did not damage the fiber optics underneath. That's good. I really want... There's just not a really good place underneath to grab it. So I'm just going to hope that's going in between the fiber. Yeah, okay, I've avoided the fiber. That's clamped down in the proper place. And we're going to set this one aside for now. Let's see. Set this over here. Okay. That job done. Let's see. Who has some good 3D files of ships? I haven't gotten into any of the 3D printing or anything like that. I do have a small resin printer here, but I haven't actually gotten into doing any work with it yet. And the work I was going to need to get done, I actually have outsourced it. So, because I just have not had any time to get working on learning the 3D modeling side that I need in order to print the things I want. Let me just see here if I can pull up a couple of images for you. Okay, I need to save the image. Let's just go. Okay, I've saved the image. I am, here, let me go to this view while I'm doing that, because there's nothing interesting happening on the bench while I'm looking up this stuff here. Thought I put that in. Okay, I put it into the wrong folder. Okay, so this is something that I've got. Oh, I can turn this back on here. That I've outsourced. I've outsourced this to John from Captain's Drydock. And essentially, this is going to be a comm badge for, I'm just saving, while I'm talking, I'm saving some other images here so I can show you. Yeah, so it's essentially going to be a comm badge, but done as my logo. And I've got one more picture to save here. Okay, let's see. Here is the back of this, and magnets are going to go in there. So 2 magnets, and then there's going to be a back plate, which he's done up with Canadian Starships on there. And on the other side of the back plate is going, the other side of the back plate is going to be the appropriate other magnets. And this is going to be exactly the same size as a comm badge. And then I'll paint it up my appropriate colors. I will put my my actual logo graphics on it with decal and do all that. And I'll have a nice little comm badge thing that I can wear for Wonderfest or just in my videos or whenever I want. So yeah, that's something I was looking to do with my 3D printer, but I just have not had the time. I've just been having too much commission work in order to do anything like that. So, I mean, that's good. I've got commissions in and stuff, but it does take time. So, yeah, that's a fun idea. Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. So, looking forward to it, and hopefully I'm going to have it here from John at Captain's Dry Dock in time to be able to do the rest of the work on it before Wonderfest. So I'm hoping that I will have it there because I'm going to have my table at Wonderfest. The hotel is been fully booked up for Wonderfest weekend. So if you were planning on going to Wonderfest and you hadn't booked at the Crown Plaza Hotel, unfortunately you're going to have to find a hotel close by. Model Workshop has some 3D files. I downloaded a 3D file for the Voyager Maquis ship. I printed it, the cockpit, and it turned out... let me just move this here. Yeah, I printed the cockpit and it turned out very detailed. Very nice. Yeah, I just have not had the time to do it. When I do get around to working with it and just learning the basics, I will start with something very simple. Probably the rank pips or something like that, since those would be very simple to do. Yeah. All right. So that observation deck for the shuttle bay is curing over there. Probably won't do anything else with that one tonight, but because I'm doing these ships in groups of 2s, it seems, all of them, I have another one to work on. So I need to make sure that I get all of this fine spaghetti kind of settled in place. So let's work on that. And I need to figure out, one of the challenges is going to be, where do I put the main bundles of these wires? Where can I mount those, and where they're not going to block any windows? There's some space here right up against the phaser array that I'll be able to put one, and the equivalent over here. So when I say main bundles, I mean like this here, where a bunch of wires have been brought in together, and it's a little bit bulky. So if I can get this over here, perhaps, going in one direction or the other, it's not going to be blocking light from any of the windows surrounding it. So that's what I need to look at doing here. Okay. So what do I need? I need blue painter's tape. And I have blue painter's tape on my subscriber counter. And I need small strips. I figure that I need to make these temporary tape strips a little bit wider than I already have. I'm going to go in here and remove these old temporary ones because these main bundles have been secured down. I can probably reuse those. Set them on the edge of my desk over here where I will probably pick them up with my hands without realizing it and take them all over the house. It's the problem with masking is the little bits of stuff end up getting all over the place. And I find either bits of tape or masking or whatever all over the house. I'll get a few of these done up so they're ready to go. Let's see. I just want to check something. Make sure my volume's down. Okay, good. Good. Your channel. Just going to make sure my stream is okay here. Oh, I can't see what I want to check viewing it on my own stream. Okay. No worries. Nothing to see here? No worries. Okay. Let's get the very exciting work of cutting little strips of tape done. It's hard to have a running commentary when all you're doing is cutting up little tiny strips of tape. How do you make this content interesting for your audience? It's a mystery. This is when people say boring bye. Please don't say boring bye. I'm going to see a boring bye now in the chat. I know it. I know it. Well, probably not because a lot of people have left. So probably won't get a boring bye because, yeah, good chunk of people left already. That's okay. All right. The exciting Enterprise D work isn't happening right now. So, all right. This stuff is all tangled. So I need to get this red wire here untangled. Good. Let's get that wire out of the way. And am I going to have enough space to put this where I want to put it? Yes, but I'm going to have to put it the opposite direction, I think, to what I had planned. Okay. So my go-to here has been to deal with the big chunks first, the big chunky parts first, and then deal with the narrow wires after. This wire coming from up here might be the challenging one. I can probably just separate it. Yeah, I can separate it from the epoxy there. That gives me just enough length to secure this down. And then avoid those windows in here. Okay, good. Good on that one. Okay, and I'll run it underneath here. It'll get secured down. And I'm going to try to avoid the little window that's right there. So positioning this is the challenge. So let's get a piece of tape in here. And I'm going to get a bigger piece of tape because I don't trust that little piece of tape. That's just going to hold it in long enough for me to get a bigger piece of tape to hold it down. You like watching paint? William Nelson says, I like watching paint dry. Yeah. That's what it's like sometimes. Okay. All right, so that's been secured down there. And this one's going to be easier because it is narrower, because it doesn't have all those resistors to deal with. It just has one resistor. And we're going to secure that in place temporarily. The piece of tape. And then I'm going to mix up a little bit of epoxy, get those main pieces locked down, and we'll let that cure up before worrying about getting this mess of little cables, because I don't want the main connection points to move while I'm then working out where the rest of the wiring is going to go and getting that secured down. So let me put my glue away. Let me get a piece of plastic core cut up to mix my epoxy on. Get a knife to cut this thing. Here we go. Something just fell. I need to check that. Nothing too important. Nothing breakable. Something just fell off the shelf that's underneath this desk. Quite possibly I pushed up against something that pushed up against it, knocking it off the other end. So, not the end of the world. All right, next I need to find my epoxy, which, there it is. It was hiding in plain sight. Got it. This particular batch is getting near the end, and so it's always challenging working with it once it gets near the end. 2-part epoxy, 1 drop of side A, one drop of side B, which I think side B is pretty much done. Good thing I got a fresh batch in the wings waiting to be opened. There we go. And my highly advanced technological application tool. I think the ratios were off a little bit here. Just looks like it. A little bit more side A necessary. Yeah, I can tell this stuff's getting near the end of its life. All right. Get this nicely secured down. This end. Get some of these wires kind of get some of these wires. I stopped talking mid-thought. Get some of these wires kind of tucked in at the same time. There we go. My highly technical application tool. Get that on there. Okay. Same thing on this side. This side is a bit more of a dog's breakfast. But we'll get it locked in place. There we go. Just moving a wire that kind of got in where it wasn't belonging there before it got plastered with epoxy. Okay. There we go. Set this off somewhere where it's not going to be off-gassing near me. And yeah, so that's going to be it on this part. We'll, for now, we'll let that cure up. Then all I've got left to do is there's a few LEDs that are just on their own. They're going to go off the end. I'll label them and everything. But I've just got to then get these fine wires secured down, and then we'll be able to get the rest of the saucer put together. Well, we'll be able to get the saucers put together. Okay. So next up, let's see what time it is here. I can't go too late tonight, 10:30, but I'm going for about an hour. I'm going to put my coffee over here and clean off my desk here just a little bit because I'm going to shift gears slightly. Make some space for the big Enterprise D saucer. A little bit of resin, epoxy got on the cutting mat there. Clean it up or it'll be a pain later. Okay, let's bring the big saucer over. And let me quickly explain what's going on with the big saucer right now. I'm working on clearing out sections of the phaser array. What I'm going to be doing is eventually working towards clearing out the entire phaser array and replacing it with clear resin so that I can use a LED strip for the phaser array effect. The way that this has been intended to be done is that 5mm LEDs would go in to these spots, these 75 holes that are cut, well not cut, but just created in the manufacturing process all the way around. But there's at least a centimeter or more space between each of the 5mm LEDs. And I'm sure that in the effect, if you were to do it this way, you will see the individual LEDs. It won't be very high definition. So I'm going for my high definition effect, and so I have to clear that out. But I have to do it in stages, because if I just take the entire phaser array out in one go without replacing it with material, I'm going to completely destroy the structural integrity of this part. And all the weight of the inside would be borne by this small section at the back of the shuttle bay, and it would definitely snap off if I tried doing it all at once. So I'm going to be doing these small sections around. I'm going to leave some spots in between. I'll nicely clean this out, and then I will backfill with clear resin. And then once it's fully cured, and then adding strength back to the structural integrity of the part, then I will go through and do the parts in between. And I won't even do all of those at once. I will do probably one spot in between at a time. I'm leaving 2 holes in between so I can get my Dremel tool in. But let's, what I need to do tonight is get the 2 parts here that I've done already cleaned up. William Wilmus, are you going to make a support frame inside the saucer and body to support the whole ship? There is some armature that's included with the kit. I don't know how far up into the saucer it goes, but it certainly is in the secondary hull and goes up the neck. And I fully expect that I'm going to have to add some structural material inside to support the saucer. What I did on the 1000 scale, which has been shelved right now, it's sitting on the shelf behind the camera, I did an X frame, a brass X inside. So the brass support came up the neck, came into the saucer section, and then teed off. Sorry, yeah, it was basically a T. So it came in and then teed and was epoxied down to the bottom saucer section, and all of that was supported by the post, and the kit itself didn't bear that weight. So I fully expect that I'm going to have to do something to support the saucer section. I mean, there's significant weight there. It's not as heavy as the 1000 scale because of the material, but there is some heft to this, and I fully expect that I will need to add some extra support in there. But that's going to be something we're going to have to R&D as we go. So, all right. So I'm going to get prepared here. I had my wireless Dremel plugged in because this is quite taxing on it. And I'm going to wear my N95 mask because I am grinding away at resin printed parts. I've got my vacuum here close by because I'm going to need that. And I have no idea what the sound is going to be like for this section because I'm going to put the mask on so I'm not breathing in resin. And my glasses are going to fog up on me. There you go. All right. So I had the packaging here, but I've got a 5mm grinding bit on the end of my Dremel. And essentially what I've been doing is getting it right into these 5mm holes and then working my way slowly along. And I've marked off the top of the holes so I know exactly, give myself a bit of a guide. And then these other marks are the marked off where the phaser array parts go on top. So I'm going to come in here and start cleaning this up. vacuum it away. Have a little look, see what I need to do now, and do some more. Now I know I'm not going to get it perfect, and I don't need to. I don't need perfectly straight lines in here. I just need it to be decent because there's going to be a part, a perfectly molded part that goes on top of this. So I just need enough space for the LED to shine the light through for the phaser effect. So that's looking pretty good. I just need to make sure that I deal with the rough edges. All right, this is the next part here. I need to clear up, and then it'll be ready to pour some resin. Mostly took this off so that I could explain that and then respond to any questions in the chat if they came up. Because I'm sure it's a little muffled if I'm trying to talk with this thing on. And less pleasant to talk with it on, too. All right, and those parts here are ready. I might clean this section up a little bit more. But they're pretty much ready to have resin poured, which I'll put tape over top. And I will fill resin from the back, and then I will let it fully cure before I do anything else. Now, I'm doing a lot of stuff assembly line mode because I've got the two kits, but this is one thing because I haven't seen anybody do this before, and I haven't done it this way before. I want to make sure it works properly on one saucer top before I do it on the other saucer top and the bottoms. So we will try to make sure that that is working properly before we move on to those parts. And I am not going to do the resin on camera because that's just not going to be fun for anybody. So I'm going to call the stream there. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed hanging out. And is the current resin translucent? No, it is not. Not very much. It is. It will let a little bit of light through, but not enough for the effects. So it does really need to be cleared out. And if it was, that'd be great because I would just fill the holes that are already there. But no, it's not translucent enough to let that light through. Hello, Yavang. Thanks for joining. I just said that I was going to be ending the stream. So if you're just joining, I apologize that the stream is ending momentarily. But I got the work I needed to get done. Not as much as I originally thought, but I forgot that I need to let some epoxy cure on some of the other parts. And I need to let the Shuttle Bay Observation deck cure before I do too much with that other part. And then backfilling this with the clear resin is something I really need to do off camera. So I'm going to say good night, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching the channel. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. We're up to 1,962 subscribers currently, so that is absolutely awesome. Almost at 2,000. That's, to me, that's kind of crazy. So thank you everybody for watching. Have a great night, and I will also announce this on social media, but I'm going to have to do my live stream on Friday next week instead of Saturday. So I will be here at 9:30 Eastern time on Friday instead of Saturday next week. So hopefully we'll see you then. But for now, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you hopefully in a video for this kit very, very soon. I hope by then next week that I'll have the first update video done. That's my goal. So, all right, have a good night, everybody, and see you later.